Alright, so the triple Okura banner is going to be dropping tomorrow, the Reimagined Summons Nihility. Now, since it did get announced a tad bit earlier, it feels a bit weird that it's not already here, but it is dropping tomorrow. And as always, before the banner does drop, I'm going to be breaking it down, letting you lads know everything you need to know before summoning on this banner. So for starters, what you will see here is that the banner is going to come out tomorrow morning, the 30th of November, and it's going to last until December 12th. Now, unfortunately, as of right now, because we're not getting a new epic raid for this upcoming month, we can't predict what banners are going to be coming out. Like, we could predict, but we don't know for certainty what banners will be coming back. So for the most part, we're going into the December almost blind. There should be a Brave Fest featuring 7th anniversary Ichigo. There should be a Safui banner and a 1000-year Blood War banner, but we don't know what characters will be in those. But since this banner does leave on the 12th, that is when the individual banners do start. And personally, I actually recommend summoning on the individual banners more than the main banner. And the reason for that is because not only are the banners better in terms of filler value, they also come at a much later date. For example, the hidden version of Okura is coming out on the 12th and will be lasting until the 18th, which is when the SE Okura banner does start, and that will then last till December 24th, which is when the reimagined 3rd anniversary Okura individual is then actually happening. And I guess the important part about that is that since it does happen December 24th, this banner will be out while the Banka Lyshim is shown, and also news of what end of year is going to be. So unlike the SE Okura and the hidden Okura, if you summon on those, you won't know what end of year is going to be, but the renewed version of Okura does get that advantage of being able to find out what end of year is, and then also proceed to summon on this banner. And like I mentioned, the fillers for all three characters are actually pretty good, so it really comes down to if you want to get these characters, you want to summon on those particular individual banners. But looking at the actual main banner, the one that is dropping tomorrow, unfortunately, despite the 3 new characters actually being really good, I'm going to talk about them in a minute, the filler value in this particular banner is quite bad. And because of that, that's why I kind of recommend to either skip this banner, do very limited number of pulls, or summon on the individual banners. Nozomi is great for epic raids. She is a droplet and link sort character. The Machine Mashiro is basically a droplet character, but only a 17% increase, so that's kind of outdated. Oryu isn't really anything special. He's for the most part a 14% recharge soul trait. Ruroka, basically a 14% recharge soul trait for the mind attribute. Toshiro is a Chronoquest bonus, and Nelly is also basically another 14% recharge. So in terms of the value here, I don't think it's that good. The only worth filler character talking about is basically Nozomi. But having a look at the actual 3 new characters, let's quickly talk about them. The first one being the hidden version of Okura. This character is actually setting up to be a really powerful and very valuable character. As of right now, he's going to be the most valuable mind character in the game, since he is increasing the amount of link swap potions, super link swap potions, and also heart droplets you do get. And given the fact that he's a premium character, I think makes it all the better. He comes with 3 great strong attacks, has a very easy time inflicting stat augment thanks to his increased stat augment chance against any heart enemy skill, which is very important because again, he is a super link swap character. You want to take this character into IT, and he's going to perform really well regardless of the killer he does have. He then buffs mind attribute Aronka's damage by 40% to anyone that is afflicted by a stat augment, and also does come with frenzy +1 with an additional 40% berserker. With good range, guard break, and also supporting the team, healing them by 20% every time you into another map, this character is going to be great when it comes to just farming content. He's going to be great in epic raids, droplet zone, and also inheritance trials. And the fact that he's just overall very solid character makes it all the better in my opinion. So this hidden version of Okura, definitely a character worth using. The next one, the Resurrection Segunda Etapa version of Okura, is a captain killer. Best way to look at him is that he's a guild quest character that also is good enough to be used outside of guild quests, but for the most part, your main usage is going to be in the ranged captain guild quest. And that's due to the fact that he does have 2 skills that increase the amount of damage he can do only in that particular quest. He has a kill effect plus 30% skill, which gets increased to 50% in guild quests, and extra 10% range damage, which then gets increased to 30% in guild quests. Alongside the fact that he is a ranged nat character with guard break, in this case sharpshooter, having fly +1, a 40% bruiser, those 2 guild quest specific skills, and also when at full stamina an additional 40% normal attack damage, this character is going to be hitting very hard, especially when you have a look at his SA2, which is a debuff move and also a barrier. Now debuffs are definitely a bit gimmicky since they only affect 1 wave of enemies, unlike a boost, which will buff you for 20 seconds. This is a very limited buff, but on the bright side, it does come with barriers, and it's a multi-barrier at that, so it's giving you 5 barriers for yourself and a 3-hit barrier for your teammates. This Okura has some fun visuals and definitely a powerful nat character that can be used in basically any content you put him against, but since he is a nat character, he's kind of limited on where you're actually going to use him. Personally, I prefer to use SP characters, but that's just my personal preference. But the main thing is that in guild quests, more specifically the ranged captain guild quest, he is going to be a very powerful character. And I guess if you have no other better option for the immediate captain guild quest, you could technically use him there too. And then lastly, we have the renewed version of Okura, aka 3rd Anniversary Remake, aka Beyond Resurrection. This character is very, very powerful. For starters, come with 2 killers, that being Hollow and also Espada, already making him feel a tad bit more special since he is technically an anniversary character. He then comes with an amazing set of skills, that being Frenzy +1, Havoc +20%, Berserker +40, on top of the fact that you do have the spiritual pressure boost, so when you do inflict a Stasman, which he will have an easy time doing thanks to his kit, his SA1 being a 3000 length beam, his SA2 being a distant AoE into a tracking vortex, and his SA3 being a full screen. So when you do inflict a Stasman, you're getting that 80% SP boost, and when you also do inflict a Stasman, you're then doing 40% more damage to those particular enemies. On top of the fact that you have Bombardment +1 and also Devastation with complete stats immunity, this is going to allow him to just be a very powerful character, and it can get even better since he is the first character in the game to come with a Ronka Resonance. Now, it is a tad bit limited, but essentially increases the amount of strong attack damage you do by 10% every time you have another Aranka in your game. So hypothetically, if you're in an epic raid lobby and you have 5 other Arankas, this Okura is then getting an additional 60% strong attack damage. Now, on top of that, he also does have Sprinter +2, Long Shred, and also Sharpshooter, making him a very useful character, and also is setting up to be one of the better arena characters since he also does pick up the Start Power Item +2, Poise, and also an additional Frenzy +1, therefore taking it to Frenzy +2 with the Spiritual Pressure boost. Now, the reason why this character is very exciting is, of course, not only does he have a very powerful set of strong attacks, he's also going to be really powerful in Guild Quests. I know a lot of Guild Quest heads are going to try and get their hands on this character since he is basically a weakened version of Yamamoto. Now, as we all are aware, 1000 year old Yamamoto is basically the best Guild Quest nuker. People are using him in weeks that he can't be used in. And while Okura might not be able to do that since he doesn't have weakened defense built into the character, he's still a very powerful nuke, thanks to the fact that he does have the spiritual pressure boost, bombardment, and also devastation. On top of having weakening, it means you can technically use this character in the Hollow, range, and melee Guild Quests, basically almost get a quick sub 1, and then you can also use him to nuke in the Espada Guild Quest, which is something that right now no one really can do or compete with him in terms of that Guild Quest potential. And I also do want to emphasize the fact that him getting Sharpshooter is really good because for the most part, there hasn't been that many good characters in the last couple years that have Sharpshooter or any type of ignore resistance. I'm still using someone like 5th Anniversary Byakuya because unfortunately 7th Anniversary Uryu was never given Sharpshooter or Marauder. So Okura having it definitely does make him feel a tad bit more special. And with that all said, that's basically the breakdown for the renewed version of Okura. Again, very good character. Definitely something the speed attribute needed, and will definitely be a character you will be using if you do potentially pull him. For me, I can already see him being one of my most used speed characters in the game. Up there basically with 7th Anniversary Uryu. So with that said, that's the breakdown for the reimagined summon featuring Okura, and also Okura. I think it's definitely a high tier banner in terms of banner characters. These 3 Okuras are great, the hidden version being one of the most valuable mind characters in the entire game, the SE Okura just being a very good NAD character outside and inside of Guild Quests, and then you also have this version of Okura, again, potentially one of the best speed characters in the game, right? An amazing character for normal PvE play, great in Arena, and also great in Guild Quests in terms of just nuking potential. These 3 characters are worth summoning for, but again, as I mentioned, maybe not in this banner. I'm not a big fan of the filler pool, as I think the only 4 characters here that are just worth talking about is the 3 banner characters and Nozomi. The other characters you can get later on, like they're nothing special. And since it is a premium banner, these are premium characters, I think I'm just going to say for end of year. I don't think end of year is going to bring us a speed character better than Okura, and I don't think he's going to be outclassed anytime soon, nor do I think the hidden version of Okura will be outclassed anytime soon, but I'm just going to save my orbs for something more limited, because I know I will eventually get these characters later on. But that's just my opinion. I will be doing 2 discounted steps on my main account since I am actually missing 5 characters in this banner, and I'll be spending most of my orbs on my alt account because I want to get that renewed version of Okura. He's great in Guild Quest, and it'd be really fun to test him out in there. So maybe if you have a bunch of orbs to spare, do a couple summons, but I actually recommend saving for the individuals. I think they hold more value. And if you only want one character in particular, that's going to be your best place to get them. But in the comments below, do let me know what your plan when it comes to summoning on this banner. I know a lot of people are simping for this Okura, and good luck. I mean, since it is 3 Okuras, you basically have a 1.5% chance to get your favorite character, Okura. It just comes down to, are you lucky enough to get the one you want in particular? But if you're only hunting for a Okura, I guess this banner is for you. So with that said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. Take care and peace.